And we want to talk more about this with Lara Whyte, a journalist at Open Democracy, an independent global media platform. Hi there, Lara. Thank you for joining us.
Hi.
Tell us what your reaction has been to the results.
Well, it's been a really momentous day here in Dublin. There's been scenes of jubilation and celebration all over the city all day. There's been an element of surprise, pleasant surprise from the Yes campaign. There was not the same expectation that it would, there was a expectation that it would go through, but not by the landslide margin that we've seen today.
Give our international audience an idea of why Ireland is coming around to this now. Why now?
Well, since 2016, there's been a lot of pressure on the Irish government. The United Nations said that it was against women's rights to deny them the healthcare treatment of abortion services within Ireland. And so that led to the Citizens' Assembly being formed to discuss the referendum. It's not the first time that abortion has been discussed or there's been a movement to bring abortion to Ireland, but it's the first time that it's been successful, and it's the first time that it's been this far. The reason that it hasn't happened previously was because of the 8th Amendment, i.e. it's in the Constitution that the rights of the unborn are equal to the rights of the mother during pregnancy, and so that is the barrier to any legislation for abortion services in Ireland. So it's really significant.
Right, so culturally there, I mean, regardless of the law, culturally, is abortion really looked down upon? Do people travel to get abortions?
Yes, thousands of women, tens of thousands of women travel to England to get abortions every year in Ireland. There's a belief that abortion doesn't happen, but that's false. Women in Ireland do have abortions. What Ireland does is previously it's exported its abortion to England. Women would have to travel to access the services by the NHS in the UK. And when I say the UK, I mean England, Scotland and Wales, more so than Northern Ireland, because of course in Northern Ireland abortion is illegal and Northern Irish women are denied their rights.
How soon will the law actually change, and when will women be able to get abortions, and when will doctors be performing them?
Sorry, could you repeat that?
How soon will this law change? When will women actually be able to get abortions? And do you still expect protests to this? Will people be lined up outside these clinics like we see in the United States?
Well, there's been a lot of American campaigning in Ireland over the past few weeks. A lot of the big anti-abortion groups from America have been setting up here. Sorry, not just the last few weeks, in particular the last few weeks, but over the last few years. So I do expect that there will be continued protests. The No campaign are surprised, also bitterly disappointed, and have made that very clear. And they say that they will regroup and continue to fight. And so I do think that you will see US-style protests, because US-style protests against abortion are happening all over Europe at the moment. They're happening in the UK, they're beginning to happen in Europe, and that's really quite new. There's been a real internationalizing of the anti-abortion agenda. A lot of that's coming from the US, but they're making a lot of strong allies across the rest of Europe and further into Africa and across the world. So I do expect that there will still be protests, but this is a major, major battle that has been won today, and I think that legislature, they're discussing that it'll come in the next few weeks to months. Because of the size of the landslide, it will be likely that it'll happen sooner rather than later. But to say that there won't be, you know, these protests, or that it won't still build up the same strength of feeling within Ireland is false. It's not. It has divided, the fight has divided Ireland, and even though the number of people who voted for yes was overwhelming, there is a small, very, very, very vocal minority who I believe will still make their case.
Lara Whyte.